Hey guys, you're back with Juzzy. Today we're going to look at the unboxing and putting together of some Trex motorbike stands. Now I've purchased some aftermarket wheel covers and some genuine Diablo rear shocks for my Honda Rebel 2022 500 Special Edition. I've been able to do a whole bunch of modifications to the bike, all of which did not require using or the usage of a motorbike stand. Now, I used to have one years ago when I last had a Suzuki GSX-R 600, but when I sold the bike, I think I must have either chucked the stand out or probably just sold it. So I had to go and purchase another one, and I decided to actually buy a front and rear one. So I actually had a look at what people seemed to recommend and something that was going to be of reasonable cost to get delivered to me in Brisbane, Australia. I found several recommendations for the Trex brand, and what I've got here is the front and rear box, which I've purchased on eBay from Edison's, which is a motorbike seller of parts in Australia. So it arrived pretty good, and I think it was around $140 odd, but I'll pop up on the screen a picture of the actual eBay listing. And in the description below, I'll have the link to exactly where I purchased it. Now, when you've got a Honda Rebel, you have to purchase, particularly depending on what sort of exhaust you've got, a particular type of rear stand, which unfortunately you can't actually install spools and just use a rear stand very easily, because the factory exhaust sort of gets in the way. So what you can do is buy just the same sort of rear motorbike stand, but it actually has a different sort of connection. So it relies on these sort of rubber mounting points to lift up your bike underneath the swing arm. On the front though, however, it does quite easily connect up under where the forks are. And is that when I do put aftermarket wheel covers and Diablo coils in the rear, there's the box for the Diablo rear shocks, then yeah, I'll be able to do it with stability and not have to worry about relying on someone else being there or just a bike just simply tipping over. I also need to, or want to get at least a rear stand so that I can then start looking at servicing the chain. So, so I'd like to be able to have the bike on the rear stand, be able to turn the wheel, and not have to rely on some sort of little roller. I just like to do it what I think is the proper way. So yeah, this is what the box looks like when you purchase the Trex stands. As you can see, this one says here that it's the stand for the front, and this one here is the stand for the rear. Otherwise, the boxes look pretty much identical. So I did actually open this box and in fact, it was one of the first items that I purchased when I knew that I was going to be buying a bike. So inside it does have a manual sort of describing how to put all this together, but it's not overly complicated. So it's just got a little spacer in the package there to make sure the box doesn't crumble. But inside you've got the actual stand, you've got the wheeled legs, and then yeah, you've got the parts to put it together. So that is the front one. Now, most people will only just buy this rear one. So the again, looks very similar. Now this rear one, the one I've bought, has got these rubber stands. So that's what I was saying. It's much easier to use this type of stand instead of this type on the rear, particularly on this type of bike. So let's get all this unpackaging undone. I'll probably start on the front one first, and then it looks like instead of sitting on the side of my garage boxed up like this, I'll have to find another spot where I can put these. But let's see what's inside the packaging. Alright, so I've undone the packaging, and on the left side of the screen I'm just going to show you what the link to the instruction manual is. So it's just got 3 or 4 pages there, and it doesn't really say very much, and that's because it's not very complicated to put it together. But basically I've just laid it out the way that it looks like in the picture it has to go ahead. So I'm simply just going to undo the nut and bolt here, slide those into this tube, and then resume. Okay, so I've just installed that nut and bolt. On the right side it was very easy, it just uses a 14 and a 13. But on this left side, the hole on one side was just a little bit out, and it only sort of allowed me to place it in from this side. So it's nothing of major concern, but you may find that you might have to end up using a tiny little bit of a drill out to get yours to fit. So the next thing you'll see in the photo is that this spring-loaded element is placed into this tube. So what you've got to do is remove this cotton pin, I believe they're called, and slide it over and then put the pin in from the opposite side. Let's do that now. Okay, so that was very easy. So just removing the pin, slotting this through, and then just putting the pin through whilst it's there. And so as you can see, when you go to mount the bike on top of here, it actually caters for all sorts of bikes all the way up to this width because of this spring-loaded mechanism. So I'll just complete the install of this part and let's see what it looks like fully installed. Right, I think that might have to be the quickest install or put together of parts I've ever done. So yeah, thoughts on this stand? It's actually got a very thick tubular chassis to it, and I'll just pop up on the screen now some of the specs that Edison's has put for, or Trex has claimed. Yeah, seems pretty solid. It does wheel easy, so there's no resistance in the wheeling. And let's have a look. They're using a circlip to hold the wheels in on all 4 wheels. So yeah, there's not really much that can go wrong here. Of course it's fully tiltable, rotatable. If you wanted to put it this way, you could. There's nothing to stop it from 360 spinning. So yeah, not too bad. Let's get the rear one together now, unboxed, and see what the parts are in there. So here's the parts out of the box, and on the left side of the screen, again, I'll show you the manual that Edison's has provided for the rear Trex stand. Again, similar sort of layout. You've got the leverage bar, the legs, bolts, which look to be the same, 14 and a 13. And then this time you've got this type of rubber holder to hold the bike up on the swing arms, and it's got a circlip here down the bottom. So this one can actually just slide in, but on this one it uses a kind of like a grub screw, but a large bolt just to hold it exactly where you need it to go. And it doesn't actually have holes in here because the holes, I guess, wouldn't be specific enough to cater for every bike that's out there, but it does use just, as you can see, it's just a normal bolt, the end of a bolt. So it's just designed to loosely or lightly hold it in place. It's not like a hole where it pops through and locks it into position. So that might be something that you might have been looking for, but there's definitely no hole on either one of these parts. I'll get this together now and let's see what the assembled item looks like. Guys, so there you have it. There is the assembly of the front and rear Trex motorbike stands. And in the future, I'll be using these to install the wheel covers for my Honda Rebel 500. As well as replacing, servicing the chain and adjusting chain tension. If you've got any questions about this product, please feel free to let me know. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, if you've got any questions, again, please let me know. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel, Juzzy Evo X. You can find me by searching for Tweaked Rebel. Cheers, guys. Bye for now.
See your own reflection and try to find your